We stopped by Roccat, and this is the Nith. I'm not sure what Nith means. I need to figure out what Nith means. Anyway, the Nith is a very innovative mouse. Come down here and check this out. So we've seen some of the different models on the side that have all the buttons on the side, and this one allows you to put any buttons that you want on the side. Beyond that, it's actually really smooth. It's got one of the smoothest rubberized textures. Oh, I'm going to do this for like 2 hours. Yes. Anyway, let's get down to just cut straight to it. All of these buttons are the options for things that you can put on the side, and there's even an alternate side for the right side of the mouse, so you can have a different type of grip. You can mix and match these buttons up to 12 different ones on the side. And here's the crazy thing. So let's say you mix and match all these buttons, but you want a very specialized button. They offer 3D printer support, so you can print your own button and then put it in there. And you can just go and download the schematics on their site, print it out, and you'll be just fine. Here's one with all the buttons installed, or just these buttons installed. That's a really, really interesting feature. Now let's go ahead and take off the side here. So the side comes off. They said you could 3D print this as well, but it's quite a bit more complicated, and they do not supply the schematic, but it's not impossible, and that's what I like to hear. And this is a larger side, you know, with an extra hand or finger rest right there. If you're playing something more casual, you don't have to move around as much, or if you like a bigger mouse with a bigger grip. If you want a little more dexterity, plug in the smaller one here. If I can do it with my left hand, which I can't do anything with my left hand. What am I doing? There we go. There we go. Now you see we've got a slightly smaller grip here on the side. Good for agility. Yeah, look at that. It's a pretty nice mouse. We also have this that they've carried over from some of their other models. It's left and right there that you can... I didn't use this much when I used the mouse, but you know, it's there. This is also nice rubber, large teeth, and it's I really like what they do with their scroll wheels. Very defined click. Button right there. I'm not sure what that's... I mean, you can program it to do anything. Now also the software on this, it's called the Swarm, and it will work with all the different Roccat software all the different Roccat products out there, so they'll all appear in the same thing. You can store profiles here, you can create profiles and store them on your computer, and there's also some cloud functionality, so you can create a profile and then back it up elsewhere. You see the little LED in there. This is the full, you know, RGB, 16.7 million colors. You can pick whatever color you like. So that's pretty cool. I cannot get over how just smooth this mouse is. It's extremely comfortable. The least comfortable part of it is this little, I guess it's like a laser etched logo there, but it's kind of back where my palm doesn't even really touch it. I kind of have somewhere between palm and claw grip. So yeah, really comfortable and extremely interesting and innovative. I think Pistol's probably going to want one of these because she loves all these side buttons, and being able to customize them is a huge bonus. So, thanks very much, Roccat. This is going to be out by Gamescom, and then we also have an RGB keyboard. Check this out. This is the Rios MKFX, and we saw the smaller one before with, it's 10 keyless. This is the larger one, and you can see it's quite colorful. This has the the full Cherry MX RGB. This is Cherry MX brown as far as the switch goes, but the LED is the full RGB. And this one should be available maybe toward the end of the year, Q4. Not a definite date yet. But if you guys like the design of the Rios, well, here you have it with RGB. You guys know Patriot. They make memory. They make lots of memory. They make SSDs. They make M.2, they make M.2 right there, and they've got some huge kits coming out for DDR4. They don't show it right here. It's in the system over there, like a 128 gigabyte kit, huge stuff like that. So all that, and then what is this? What is this? Yes, they're getting into the gaming peripheral market, so check this out. This is their RGB keyboard. It's the V760, and it's not out yet, but they're aiming for a price point that's a little lower than maybe the Corsairs and that sort of thing out there. The build quality, it's plastic on the top. We have metal on the sides. There's a metal plate inside. This is nice. It's it's magnetized and very soft on the bottom, just like me. And then the wrist rest is also extremely soft and rubberized. Over here we have some gaming mice. Now they're clearly plastic, but they have the rubberized coating on top. Some buttons on the side. Now these are right above where your thumb goes. Frankly, they feel a little rough, but difficult to accidentally press them because they're not right where your thumb is. You have to come up and press them on purpose. Over here we have a couple more buttons that are a bit out of the way. Double scroll wheel. Double barrel scroll wheel. Say that 7 times fast while eating a piece of toast and jam. A little button down there on the side. And there you can see the laser. This is a 5000 CPI mouse. Here's the innovative thing. Of course, you've got the weight set, but we're seeing this at Computex a lot, and I'm glad we're seeing this. Sort of a modular side, so you can choose if you want, you know, just like a smaller, you know, footprint for your mouse, so it moves around quicker, or you can put this on the side and have some resting spots for your fingers. So it's cool to see these modular sides that will snap on and off to the mouse. It's going to really make them better for a wider variety of people. So we'll be curious to see these when they come out later in the year. Oh yeah, they also have a headset. Check this out. I did try it out. It is definitely in the headset sound signature range, meaning the mids are boosted for footsteps and that sort of thing. Music, it's going to sound a little muddy at first until you equalize it, bring up the highs a little bit. But like I said, it's boosted for music. It's somewhat open, and then you have the mic there that folds down. It's actually very comfortable. The suspension, you know, band there is really comfortable, and then the leather and the cushion on the inside, quite plush. So that's what they've got.
Anyway, so we got this, John. What's this thing called?
This is actually called the WP200 because the W200 is the large case up here. The P200 is the one here. So when you put them together, you mount them together, they become the WP200.
The WP200. So the P200 is this mini little dingy thing on here. And what would you normally put in something like this?
Well, you can see right here.
Those things are so big. I don't think I've ever seen something that big before.
Well, we could cool a Honda and a PC, so.
There you go. So this thing is, we pulled this thing out of a Honda and we put it in here so we can cool the PC. Because, you know, if it works for a car, it's going to work for, you know, a computer.
Yeah, basically we want to make these so that you can best fit pretty much anything, the system, the way you want it. That's the whole point, just like I said back when we talked about Core X9. We did a lot of research when it comes to panel designs, how to do the ventilation, how to do everything so that we optimize all of our airflow while also still keeping the panel stiff enough so that it basically doesn't become a big floppy mess.
What you're saying is that this is the only way to maintain structural integrity of the case or of the panel?
Well, you know, it's like anything else. You have to find, I think we both came to kind of a similar solution when it comes to how we design this. It's really about finding the best structural integrity. I mean, you know, I could throw circles on this like you do or whatever, you know, throw a bunch of circles, but maybe you lose some of the strength of the panel. And at that point, it's actually counterintuitive. It actually hurts our end users, and people are going to be pretty upset. You buy a case, you know, for especially a few $100s, all of a sudden you get a panel and thing's flopping around like a wet burrito. It's going to be a bad day for you.
Wet burritos are scary things. So this thing here's got two giant panels. So this one here has got an entire machine on this side, and you can fit another machine on the other side of this as well. Absolutely. And you've got two radiators set up in the bottom, giant power supplies. I mean, I could fit, I mean, really, in all reality, I could probably fit a dead body in here along with the computer.
You could pretty much fit anything, what have you. What your motives are, hey, after you get it, that's your choice. But you could fit two PCs, you could fit more. You could buy enough fans to fill this thing that it would cost way more than the actual case itself. You're talking upwards of over 30 fans you can fit in this thing, depending on how you configure it.
If I were to max out hard drive capacity, how many drives could I physically fit in here? Not even counting how many could fit in that.
How about we go take a look? I'm going to show you two different options for this.
Excellent. Let's go take a look at this.
When we come around to here, when we pull this panel open, you can see the first thing. See those two rails? So these are all modular drive racks, but you can get rails and pretty much just mount a ton of drives in there. Also, if you look in the panel back here, you can see, just like on the Core V71, you can actually vertically mount a bunch of drive trays with drives and whatnot. So as you can see, we did a lot of thinking when it came to this design on how we can maximize, like if someone wanted to make this into a massive, just huge SQL or file server or whatnot, they could build this thing to do pretty much whatever they want. Obviously this side is designed so that you can have a system here, but you can also just have a bunch of vertically mounted drives along with a bunch of drive trays straight right here. I don't even know if you'd have enough controllers to really populate that much, but you could do it. We also make this so that you have the different panels interchangeable, or you have, for instance, hot swappable drive trays can come right out the front. So it makes life a lot easier. Rather than having to go inside your case, if you have a couple drives you know it's going to be coming in and out often, especially if this is a server where you're pulling backup drives, this kind of solution, you can pull it right out here, and you'll notice two I/O panels. That's that way if you have two systems, you can power both of them completely separate. You have your USB 3 on both of them, even your audio headers on both, reset switches, everything you can imagine, all there, along with some of our other accessories, like Wendell was over here mentioning. You can actually run up to 4 or even 6-way 2.5 drives, and if you were to fill this thing, I don't know, Wendell, you tell me, how much was that again?
You'd have 96 with the 4-way and even more with the 6-way.
If you're talking a high-end 24-port controller, you'd be saturating like literally every slot in your board just to populate that many drives. That's insane. I would probably do it, but Logan would probably do it, but
Well,
all of us would probably do
Okay,
it.
so I'm just going to give a test example of what I would do with this. If we can actually put all those drives in the front here, and you get a couple of 24-port hard drive controllers on the motherboards, I would actually dual system this. I'd put it as a heartbeat failover between the two systems, internally linked, and then I have all the drives. So half the drives would be in one system, half the drives on the other, and I have a full mirror set up for this. It's a great server case right there, and I could shove this into my corner. I could heat my room with this in the wintertime.
This is also our TT Premium line, which is why you have this logo. This is our new Premium Series chassis. So this thing has all the capability you have over there, but it's one system. You still have a ton of fitment space back here for radiators and whatnot, so you could build your whole system. If you come around here and see on the window panel side, you could still fit your whole system, and all your liquid cooling and all that cool stuff is still back there. You don't even have to see it. You could put it in the top, you could put it in the back over there, out of the way. You wouldn't even know it existed unless you really want to show off your radiators. I mean, I don't know. It's a big chunk of metal that has water flowing through it. I'm not a whole lot to them, so I'd much rather show off the pretty bits here. But at the end of the day, you can mount them vertically. Like for instance, if you were to look in some of the other systems, you can even mount the trays vertically depending if you're only running a couple SSDs, which a monster case like this, it'd kind of be a travesty to mount like 2 SSDs and call it a day when you've got, probably a few hundred cubic feet of space left over. But at the end of the day, you can do a ton of stuff, and really it's all about what your limit is on your imagination on what you can do with these things.
I have a pretty big imagination.
Well, we're talking about cases here.
That's
This
true.
is about cases and PCs. Once we limit that, I think it narrows it a bit.
No, not really.
Oh, that scares me.
Yeah.